to another Web3 demo brought to you live from the BanklessDAO servers and also from the Fight Club YouTube channels. These are our Web3 demos where we explore brand new Web3 projects that are out there being built by the builders that we know and love. Today, we have a really interesting one, which I'll get into in just a minute. Just want to remind everybody that none of this is financial investment, legal, tax, or any other kind of advice. We're just here building, checking out the newest and hottest Web3 tools, trying to help advance the ecosystem by bringing all the great new products to you. If you ever want to join us, please come on into the server. We open up for Q&A. We let you communicate directly with the founders of these projects. Sometimes they're looking for feedback. Sometimes they're looking for help building projects. You never know what you're going to find here within the BanklessDAO server. So today we have a really cool project, which I came across in the Skylab server. Skylab is one of these builder investment communities that that I've found over the past few months. I've been connected with them since interviewing their founder Jordan in the Fight Club AMAs. And yeah, in Skylab, you can find a ton of really cool projects that are building. Today, it's no different. It is Bazaar.so. They call themselves the Open Game Store. Buy, sell, and trade games on the blockchain. Bazaar makes it easy to sell your game and keep more of your hard-earned money. Sell your game without paying registration fees, revealing personal info, or waiting for approval. So here we have Keenan about to show us through the platform. Welcome, Keenan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem. And you're the founder of this, Keenan?
Yeah, I'm the founder.
Brilliant. So tell us quickly before you dive in, a little bit about Bazaar and how you got started, and maybe just quickly dive into some of your team as well.
Sure, yeah. So Bazaar is a digital game store. You can kind of compare it to like Steam or Epic Game Store, but everything is managed through smart contracts on the blockchain. So when you list your game, it's actually listed as a NFT. And when people purchase your game, they purchase a license by purchasing that NFT. And it gives them kind of more control over what their game looks like, the pricing, and then gamers get more control over their games. They can trade games, they can resell them, things like that. In terms of the team, it's just me. I'm a solo founder, so I kind of built everything here that you're going to see today. And yeah, I've been working on this since January this year.
Nice, amazing. I really like the idea of the NFT licensing structure. It just makes total sense. I'm actually really bullish on this new standard which was brought out. Oh, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I'm going to just look it up quickly. ERC 6551. Have you looked into this at all?
No, I actually haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, this is a new standard that's been released, and people are starting to build for it now. It actually allows your NFT to act as a wallet. So your NFT can now custody other NFTs. So you can actually, for a game, you could own the NFT of the game, and then that NFT could own assets within the game.
Very cool. Yeah, that seems like a very useful primitive.
Yeah, I just found out about that one yesterday. So things are always moving fast in the world of Web3. Nice. Well, yeah, we're really looking forward to checking out your platform. So dive in.
Sweet. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's a digital game store, and it kind of helps you facilitate listing your game, and then also selling your game. So it's a two-sided marketplace. And on top of all of like the crypto benefits that I kind of mentioned, like ownership, control, decentralization, that kind of stuff, we also just have like lower fees upfront. And we can do that because we don't have to use any credit card processors or anything like that. So there's less middlemen in between. And you can list any type of game on this platform. It's not just for Web3 games. You can list free games. You can list demos, stuff like that. Just kind of trying to get a marketplace where you could list all games onto it instead of focusing on just the Web3 stuff. So for the demo, I'm just going to kind of walk you through what it looks like on the side of the vendor selling their game, and then we'll walk through what it looks like through a purchase flow.
Okay, perfect. And I don't mean to spring this on you now, but maybe you could load up a game that has been selling through, maybe a popular game that's been sold through your site as well.
Yeah, I'm actually going to walk through the first game that's posted on the site, which is actually a game that I made myself.
Beauty.
So we'll get to see kind of what everything looks like. It won't just be empty.
Nice.
So this is the vendor section of the site, and it kind of just gives you like a quick glance of all of your listings, as well as you can see the balances over here. These fill up as you sell your game, and then you have to withdraw them. We support, you can actually list your game in like any ERC20 currency or native tokens. I'll talk about a little bit more about that later, but that's why you're seeing the different currencies here.
Nice. Yeah, that's really interesting as well, because then I suppose people can create their own token and charge using their own token, right?
Yeah, exactly. You could kind of like token gate your game that way. You can do all kinds of fun things with it. Composability is like a really big aspect of Bazaar that I wanted to like have, so that if anyone wanted to build anything on top of it, it's easier to do that. So try and play nicely with like other protocols out there. Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. So yeah, this is the kind of like settings page for an item. When you go to list a new game, it actually looks very similar to this. So the steps that I show here are basically the same as listing a new title, but with this, I can kind of show you what the fields look like when they're like filled out. So we're going to start with the store page here. So this is where you kind of put in general info about your game. There's a cover image here. There's the name, description. You can pick different genres for your game. And then you can select a status in case your game is early access or you're still working on it. This is where you can kind of customize your store page. You can put any type of info you want here. You can embed, animated GIFs like we have here, links to whatever you want. You have complete control over what your store page is going to look like.
Nice. Yeah, so those are all GIFs right there. Do you do videos as well?
Yeah, the next section covers the videos, but
okay.
This is more just kind of, you want something to like attract people to your game and catch their eye. So
yeah, of course.
This is a pretty useful tactic for doing that. And then the final section, this is where you can do your YouTube videos. You can do Vimeo videos as well. You can do screenshots, all of that. And then you can order them however you want. And they'll display at like the top of the page. And I'll show you that later on. But the important thing about all of this store info here, all of this is actually stored in decentralized storage. So you don't want to put anything that would like leak info about your game. This is all public info. And that's how we kind of like give you full control over everything in here. Is it's all stored in IPFS.
Okay, all right, that's interesting to know.
Sweet. So that's the kind of decentralized side. And then step 2 is you're going to upload like the assets for your game. This is the actual like executables, or if you're uploading a web game, it's the web assets. And this goes into a cloud storage so that the games are like delivered to the people downloading them faster. And then we can also control access to that. So this basically token gates all of your game assets behind the NFT that we're going to create for your game.
Right.
And here I have, this is actually a web game. So I have the web assets here ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
It takes care of that step. And then onto the pricing. This is kind of where things get fun, but you can set up the pricing here for any of the currencies like I talked about. You can do native tokens. This is deployed on Arbitrum right now, so you can use their native ETH. And then we have just some predefined ERC20s here, but like I said, you can plug in any ERC20 token here and then set up the pricing for that.
Okay, and how do you do that? How do you plug it in custom contract?
You can do it through the contract. There's no UI to add a token at the moment. I kind of wanted to keep it some like safe defaults I wanted to start with. Right. But if anyone wants to build on top of the protocol, they can. All you have to do is plug in the token address when you appraise your item.
Okay, and would that appear there in the pricing list?
Yeah, if you add custom ones, yeah.
Oh, interesting. So you can charge Pepe.
Yeah, exactly.
For your Frogger game. Nice.
Yeah. And on the final step here, this is where you can set up your settings for how your NFT is actually going to work. So if you want to release your game as like a limited edition copy, you can do that here. If you leave it to 0, that means unlimited copies. You can set up royalty fees for secondary sales. So if your game is resold on OpenSea, for example, you can collect a royalty on that. You could set up allow list if you want to kind of token or block the purchasing to only specific group of people. Maybe you have like game testers, you want to only let them purchase the game or download a free copy.
Okay.
And then here's some extra configuration items. If your game is free, this will just bypass the purchasing or make it free to mint. You can disable the trading. That's the soulbound option here. And then you can make it a unique NFT where only one copy per person.
Okay. So the soulbound option, is that something you can activate and deactivate at any time, or is it only before you deploy?
Yes, some of these settings, I think I wrote up here. Yeah, after the first sale, unique and soulbound are locked. That's to kind of prevent like a rug situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you purchase something and you think it's unique or soulbound and then they decide to change it later, that could really change up the value of the item you bought. So
interesting. And so just like exploring that soulbound a little bit further, I can definitely see the value of reselling games. Personally, I'm not a gamer, but my kids are gamers, and they love to download a game and then be like, oh shit, I don't like this game anymore. How can I get my money back? And with an NFT gaming license, you would just be able to put that on the marketplace and sell it on. What would be the advantage of having a soulbound game?
Yeah, I think keeping it soulbound is kind of like how the game stores work today, where you buy one copy and it's like locked to your account. So I could see a lot of developers being like wary about allowing people to trade or resell their games. I think the other side of that is when you allow people to trade and resell, you might have more people play your game overall, which is kind of like a hidden benefit behind that. Kind of like back in the day when you would buy a physical game, you could play it, tell your friends about it.
Between unique and not unique.
Yeah, so unique just enforces like a 1 copy per account. So maybe, so you have like a limited edition run of your game. Maybe you didn't want someone to just come in and like buy it all and try and like scalp it. So you can enforce it to 1 copy per account. I think there's probably some other use cases for that setting as well that I'm not thinking of right now, but that was the idea behind it.
Excellent. And then in terms of the royalty fees, how are those charged? Is that something that's hard coded into the contract, or is that just within particular marketplaces?
Yeah, we're just using the royalty standard on this one. So if the marketplace decides not to honor it, then it will not take effect. I just kind of lean more towards, if there's a standard for something, I usually lean more towards that than doing something custom. So that was the reason behind that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, keep things as standard as possible.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, all right. That's yeah, very comprehensive.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on here, so I kind of like to just walk through it.
Sure.
Otherwise, I won't be able to mention all the features off the top of my head. So cool. Yeah, so after you fill out all of your info there, then your item is listed and ready for sale. So if we hop over here, we can see that we have a store page that's live and ready to go. It has all of our videos, screenshots, all of the content that we put in the store page. Here it shows the features that you enabled or disabled on your game. So this one's tradable. And there's a rating system here, which it's kind of like a token gated rating system. So you have to purchase the game and then you're allowed to leave a rating on it after that. And if you want to purchase the game, this is kind of what the checkout looks like. You get to select any of the currencies that we enabled here. And then if you want to gift the item, you can send it to a friend or you can just purchase it for yourself right here.
Okay.
And then because this is a web-based game, you can just launch it directly from there and it'll load up the game. Just takes a second here. Cool. And yeah, that's pretty much the purchaser side of things. And as like another benefit, because we're trying to use all of these composable standards here, when you list your game, it'll also show up on OpenSea, which is pretty cool. So we can see all of the info we entered here, the traits, the game genres go as traits, and then there's links back to the store as well. And our royalty earnings are here too.
Oh, that's dope. So you can basically trade it on OpenSea and not even have to do any of that within the Bazaar site. But do you have a specific place for that? Do you have like what does a marketplace look like on Bazaar?
Yeah, at the moment we don't have like a fully fledged marketplace on here. So we kind of just because it's me right now, focusing on just like the value creation phase of things. So I just kind of wanted to get this whole process of like self-publishing your game as clean as possible, and then kind of let the secondary markets take care of trades and stuff like that. So at the moment, it's just like the point of purchase for your game, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So we've got Crypto Dad in the audience asking some questions. The first one was, what's the major difference between Bazaar and other NFT launchpad trading platforms? Is it customized for games? And I think the answer to that is yes, it's specifically for game launching and trading. Do you know of any other competitors out there who are doing something similar?
Yeah, it's a pretty hot space right now. There's a lot of different gaming platforms. Some are specifically Web3. Um, I don't know if I think there's maybe one other one that does both traditional and Web3 games, kind of like we do. I think the name was Elixir. I'll have to double check on that. That's one of them. And then there's a lot of like game launchers too coming out that let you play Web3 games, but we're focused more on just like digital distribution of your game. We're not focused on kind of the launcher or the frameworks for building games.
Okay. So in theory, somebody could purchase the game through Bazaar and then launch it on another one of these Web3 launching sites.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We try to interoperate with any protocols we can. So.
Mm-hmm. And then a follow-up from Crypto Dad is, does this platform also cater to other on-chain assets besides game licenses, possibly other software or other sorts of, I guess, yeah, either other apps or, I mean, on-chain assets could be anything, right? So what you're focused on games, but what do you see yourself becoming something more than that eventually?
Yeah, that's a great question. In terms of like the assets and stuff, I'd love to build out like a full asset management for your games. You could do DLC, stuff like that. But in terms of like apps and software, I kind of chose to focus on games because I have a background in games, and I think I understand that a little bit more than like competing with like the Google Play Store or like App Store platforms like that. So that's kind of why I'm like focused on games right now. But yeah, I could see like the protocol itself being used for distribution of any type of software or assets. Um, and it's all on our GitHub open source. So if anybody wants to like use the protocol to sell something other than games, it's totally possible.
Interesting. The beauty of Web3.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so you've given us a pretty good overview of what the seller side and what the buyer side looks like. Are there any other features that you'd like to show us in here?
I think we touched on a lot of the features. In terms of like the interoperability, I just wanted to showcase like we do have a subgraph as well. So this is kind of something other game stores don't let you do, but all of the data for Bazaar is completely open. So if you want to build, like I said, you want to build anything on top of it, you can do that. You can query the subgraph here to get the games, balances, stuff like that. Contracts are open source, subgraphs open source. So yeah, if anybody wants to build anything, check out our GitHub.
Okay. Nice. So you've been building in Skylab. Well, you've been participating in Skylab. How have you found that over there? Are you finding some traction with the team over there? Any interest in potential investments?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in exploring that kind of investment area. But overall, yeah, Skylab is great. If you want like to see other people building things, see what they're up to, get like advice on investment, get advice on marketing, building, all that kind of stuff. It's a really great community to be a part of. Yeah. Um,
Nice. Yep, we're going to be in the hot seat this Friday with Bankless Card. So,
oh,
but,
cool. Very cool.
yeah, hoping for the best on that one. Yeah, this has been pretty cool. So, how long have you been working on this? You said about 6 months, did you say?
Yeah, I started in January this year. So,
And were you involved in any Web3 projects before that?
yeah, my previous job was at a Web3 company. And before that, I kind of did some open source stuff in Web3.
Okay. And so you said you've been a gamer, and this was, I suppose, a bit of a passion play for you then, was it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the game that I showed off on the platform, it's the first like commercial game that I've published. Um, so I'm a gamer, game developer, really passionate about indie games in general, helping people to like self-publish and market their games. Definitely areas I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm. Um, so your game is the first game on this platform, and do you have any other titles lined up? Anybody who's interested in or actually currently building to release on here?
Yeah, that's kind of where I could use help. I'm definitely like looking to partner with anybody that's interested in selling their game this way. Um, this is a very hard idea to sell to gamers in general. They're very crypto adverse, so
Right. And
it's
why is that?
um, I think that there, I think it's just an education problem. They've only seen like the scam parts of crypto, and no
Right.
one's really shown them like how the good parts can be.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of that feels like the sentiment throughout like the gaming community in general. And I think they're just more adverse because they don't want to see more like monetization models in their games, because that's always been a pain point with like DLC and live service games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Gamers always push back on any type of like new monetization model because it might disrupt the gameplay.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable though, right? And, if anything, it's going to be beneficial for the gamers themselves because they'll be able to transfer and store their content and yeah, have that sort of true ownership. Um, Another question here from CryptoDad. By allowing to resell game licenses, would it change how game studios, uh, would it change the game studios revenue model? Assume game studios collect royalty from resales. What would motivate game studios to support this type of business?
Um, I think that I kind of touched on this when we first talked about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think allowing people to like resell and trade games can really help like market your game. If someone plays your game and really enjoys it and wants to maybe lend it to a friend, they can get their friend to try it out. And then if their friend likes it, they can purchase a copy. Outside of that, I think you would have to kind of explore new revenue models. Maybe purchasing the game is just kind of the entry into the game, and then you add elements on top of that where you have to purchase. Um, but I just kind of see it as the old style of buying and trading your like physical games. That's where I really see the benefits.
Mm-hmm. Um, so that kind of raised the question in my mind. If you've got a friend who you want to share this game with, um, would you be able to create a shared wallet and just put that asset in that wallet? Is there any way to prevent two copies of this game being open at the same time?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we don't actually have any built-in DRM in the platform. We kind of leave that up to the developers. So if they want to have a DRM that checks ownership, they can do that, but we don't enforce anything. And um, yeah, you can totally share a wallet with your friend if you trust them.
Okay. Yeah, so if you were like a gaming community, you could have a communal wallet that held all your assets, I suppose. Um, and that would work on non-DRM protected games. Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's a battle between, you have to decide if you want to do DRM. A lot of people don't like DRM, especially the ones that are always online. So you kind of got to decide, like, when you're making your game, is this gonna have DRM? What kind of DRM? What are the limits? You really have to think about those things. There's even AAA games sometimes launch, they'll add DRM at the last minute and there'll be huge pushback. So we just leave that up to the developers themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just touching on your profit model for Bazaar, um, how are you looking to monetize this platform? Do you actually charge any fees at all?
Yeah, we charge a 6% fee just on the initial sale. So if you purchase the game or resell it or something like that, we don't charge any additional fees. Just the 6% off the top of the initial sale.
Right. Yeah, that seems fair enough. Um, you're not you're not actually taking a part of that contract, just the original sale.
Right. Yeah, and that just goes towards basically the only fees that we have to pay for is hosting the contents of your game. So that's basically what the fees go towards, and to, you know, fund the development of the project. But that's kind of why we can keep the fees low, is we don't have to pay all the credit card fees like the other businesses do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's just keep it low. And another benefit that I might not have touched on is, as soon as you sell a copy of your game, you'll have access to the funds from the sale, which is unique to Bazaar, because other platforms you have to either have a minimum amount in your like purchases, and then you usually have to wait. I think it's like 30 to 60 days to get your funds. So
Mm-hmm.
we improve upon that process by using crypto.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I know, like Roblox and those types of large platforms do that as well. You buy something in Robux, and then the developer has to wait until the end of the month to actually cash any of that out. And then there's probably some sort of transaction fee to change from Robux to cash as well, I'm sure. So yeah, crypto for the win there. You mentioned DLC, so downloadable content. Um, what would that look like if, say, a game wanted to introduce some DLCs and allow people to purchase them directly within their game? Could that be a plug-in on your side, or would that mean people have to come and purchase it directly from your site?
Yeah. So the plan is to build out a system that's works similar to this for your downloadable content. So it would be another like open and interoperable smart contract. So then you'd have the option of either coming to the Bazaar storefront to purchase your DLC, or the developer could just build it into their game. So it would be open so that you could choose how it works. There'd be a ready to go built storefront, or you could go the custom route.
Okay. And if they go the custom route, then they bypass your 6% fee. Or would that be built into the contract side?
Yeah, the fees are actually built in. As soon as
Oh,
you make the purchase, the fees come out of the purchase. So
okay. All right. That's great. I mean, it's a sustainable business model for your end, so that's great.
yeah,
Nice. And it's not, I mean, look at that, 30% from Steam. And we know the Apple App Store has similar fees, unless you're Epic and you take them to court and get down to 15.
yeah.
Nice. So in terms of the wider ecosystem, have you been exploring partnerships out there? Who are some of the other organizations that you're dealing with right now? How are you spreading the word, marketing, and collaborating?
Yeah, that's definitely my weak area as a solo founder is like the marketing side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm actually I'm looking for any like game developers to partner with. Um, I've tried to do some marketing on social media and find game developers, but they usually have a lot of pushback just because it's a crypto project. But yeah, I'm definitely open to working with anyone that's working on a game or has released an indie game, that's interested in this self-publishing model and selling it. Um, yeah, just trying to spread the word about it, find people.
Okay. Have you checked out Ready Player DAO at all yet?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay. And did you see any opportunities there to get involved?
Somewhat. They actually have their own launcher. I think it's Ready Player DAO.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the ones that have Hyperplay. I think that's right.
I am not familiar with that game.
Oh, that's a game launcher.
Oh, that's the launcher. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of these um, communities actually are like they're very focused on Web3 games. So I'm open to like hosting and selling Web3 games, but I think a lot of Web3 games have their own kind of ecosystems and websites, whereas like traditional games only have a couple options in storefronts right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of the issue with the communities right now, the at least the Web3 gaming communities.
Mm-hmm. And so that's actually one of your selling points right there is you don't actually have to be a Web3 game to list on there.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of also simplifies a lot of the concepts. You don't have to understand. You don't have to make your own smart contract to sell your game. We kind of just try to simplify the whole process of self-publishing.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah, this looks really fantastic.
Thanks.
And powered by Alchemy. What did that look like working with Alchemy? I think they've got a pretty robust suite of DApp integrations.
Yeah, they have basically everything you'd need to build anything and more. So they're awesome to work with.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay, so you don't have necessarily any games on the point of dropping, but you're looking to partner with some game developers out there, and hopefully get some stuff out there soon. That would all then be going into the live marketplace, and you're ready to take on games right now, right?
Yep. This is live on Arbitrum right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and hopefully we'll expand to more chains in the future. But Arbitrum was a good choice at the time just to keep the fees extremely low.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they have their own like native ETH, which is awesome.
That makes sense. In terms of that sort of business development side, have you considered approaching games that exist on Steam and getting them to give yours a try?
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of that. That's kind of where I found like the major pushbacks. But I think those main hurdles can kind of be fixed with some of the future like UX stuff that people are working on. Um, the biggest hurdle was actually people didn't want to have a crypto wallet. They didn't really care that like the games and stuff are listed on the blockchain. They just don't want to have to like install a plugin and have the wallet to do things. So I
Mm-hmm.
think when we get to a point where account abstraction and wallets are just as simple as like sign in with Google and we can kind of like hide all of the crypto stuff. I think that's when some of those traditional like indie developers will want to list their games on here. But yeah, I've just gotten a lot of pushback on the crypto wallet stuff in general.
Yeah, that seems to be the biggest barrier to entry. So yeah, account abstraction hopefully will help solve that. One other thing I wanted to touch on before we open up for questions one last time is it's a 6% fee from each sale. So what about free games? I saw there's a free listing option there when you list your game. Does that just mean you don't take any fees from that?
Yeah, that just means like your game is free to download and play.
Mm-hmm.
And in the future, when we have the like asset store and stuff like that, that's where we would recoup the fees is on
The
if your game
DLC.
had a freemium side to it where you like free to
Yeah.
download and then you start to purchase things, that's where we would recoup the money on that end. But I just wanted to also have an option for people that are still working on their game and they wanted to just put a demo up or something just to get people hyped about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you kind of use the free option there.
And then speaking of freemium, sometimes a subscription model is a good model to use there. Just allow people to download a free option and then maybe get rid of ads with a subscription. Have you considered any subscription models?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm gonna write that down. I think that's definitely something people that are making Web3 games would definitely want to add.
Yeah, just sort of, you know, have it maybe supported by ads, and then get rid of the ads by paying, you know, $5 a month or $1 a month, even just, you know, 99 cents a month is seems pretty reasonable for a subscription, or from the bigger titles, they might want to charge $20 a month.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. Well, glad we've been of assistance. Nice. Right. We got a few people left in the audience. Did anybody want to add any more questions? I'll leave that open. Keenan, was there anything else that you wanted to add before you leave here? Obviously, you're looking for games to partner with. Is there anything else that you're looking for specifically?
Yeah, if anyone wants to, you know, check it out on GitHub, like I said, the protocol is open source, so the smart contracts, subgraph. If anyone's interested in building on top of it, you can reach out to me. Partnerships would be awesome. Or yeah, if you just want to talk about game development, anything like that, definitely hit me up.
Amazing. Okay. Oh, Crypto Dad, he's coming on stage. Come on up, Crypto Dad.
Thank you, Thinker. Yeah, so I have a question about your kind of your opinions towards the gamer. So do you think for because you mentioned you're a gamer, right? So I wonder if gamers care about assets on chain or not. Do they? What's the major pain point you think Web3 game gonna solve for the Web2 gamers?
Yeah, great question. I kind of think of it as like the game ownership piece. I guess that would also apply to the assets, like you said. Um, just like a better way of ownership for the gamers. And then on Bazaar, they can make the games tradable if they want and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of the benefit there. I haven't talked to anybody about the asset side of things because I haven't started building that out yet. But I'd imagine that the pain points will be similar with the crypto wallets. But I think like the value of the ownership, I think that gamers will still think that is valuable. So yeah.
I see. Because I talked to a friend of mine who is also a gamer, actually just last weekend. He mentioned that like a Steam have a really good store for the gamers, you know, playing on that platform for trading. But that's only for trading the game assets within the same game. But you know, they can say sell some assets in Call of Duty, and then use those points to buy assets in Fortnite. I mean, yeah, just give a example. So, do you think that those stores, marketplace, wouldn't solve the pain point?
Yeah, I think like I think they will they'll have their own marketplaces, and I'm sure Epic Games will work on something as well. They'll have a marketplace, but I think what they won't do is they won't make their stuff open. They'll kind of keep like their walled gardens that they have already. So I think that's where Web3 can really benefit is just building these open, interoperable protocols. So it's like you said, they kind of lock down their stores to specific games and stuff like that. So that's definitely an area where Web3 is better.
I see. Then it would make sense to maybe not persuade those traditional game studio to join this type of platform. Rather, maybe there's some new type of Web3 games. They're open for embracing the trading game assets across different platforms. Maybe that's your customer or your business partners, right?
Yeah, I think so. They definitely seem a lot more open to these kind of like new open protocols and stuff like that. I think it's gonna take time to educate all of the traditional gamers on like how these new things work. But yeah, I think that's a great place to start is with people just building these Web3 games.
Got it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers for that, Crypto Dad. Yeah, so it's still young. People still need to learn about the benefits of crypto before they're able to take advantage of the amazing benefits that Web3 brings. I think all the speculation around price and potential hacks. Like currently, I am getting spammed from the Li-Fi server. There's a bot in there spamming airdrop time, and they keep deleting it and it keeps coming back. There are so many scams. I mean, I can only imagine the people clicking on that link right now and getting rugged. It's just, it's a constant battle. So I understand the 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 sort of reticence to get involved with Web3, but these things are getting better. And I think, the type of things that you're working on right now, Keenan, to build this out over the long run, it's going to pay off for sure.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope we can all kind of come together and get rid of a lot of these scams. Maybe just build better UX, better rails for people to avoid that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it's going to be a battle. It's gonna take time.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, yeah, this has been really interesting seeing your demo and seeing your platform. We do have some active biz dev people within BanklessDAO, so I'll let them know that you've got this here and you're looking to onboard games and onboard new users to your platform, and maybe they'll be able to help you out there. We also have a bunch of developers who kick around the place and get involved in different areas, so I'll be sure to share this with them, and yeah, might generate some interest on that side of things too.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for letting me on here.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Thanks for coming and filling up the hot seat. So yeah, cheers to you, Keenan. If anybody wants to reach out, they can contact you through the Bazaar.so contact form, or where else would be a good place for them to contact you?
Yeah, my email is Keenan@Bazaar.so. And I think, yeah, there's some links down here. If you want to check out our GitHub, Twitter, Discord, it's all there as well.
Amazing. All right. So this has been Bazaar.so, Web3 gaming sales platform. and you don't even have to be a Web3 game to sell on there. So really cool. If you're building a game, I hope you check this out. Yeah, and enjoy selling on this platform. Once again, none of this has been financial advice, investment advice, legal, tax, or any other kind of advice. We're just out here exploring the frontiers of Web3, trying to find cool new stuff, and we've landed on one today. So again, thanks Keenan, thanks Bazaar, thanks Skylab for bringing this one in. Thank you to the team at Fight Club, our investment DAO at BanklessDAO, and thank you to the BanklessDAO community. See you next time.